Welcome to the Hollywood Raw Podcast. My name is Adam Glyn, back from his nudist resort vacation in Holt. How are you, sir?
I am good. Oh, it's good to have clothes back on. I'll tell you that much. But it was cold out there on the boat.
Do you know? Actually, it's funny. I found out there's not, from where I grew up, about 25 minutes away. There's a nudist resort. I didn't even know in Burnsville, New Jersey, there's a nudist resort, which I had no idea forever. But I guess some people are still into that. I mean, including Dax Holt,
You know
who
what?
went on.
The thing is, with a nudist resort, it's not going to be the people that you want to see naked. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's always going to be like the people you're like, oh God, put your clothes back on. That's who's going to a nudist resort.
Yeah. But you were on a cruise, right?
I did it. We did a cruise. We did a week-long cruise. We went down to Puerto Vallarta and Mazatlan and Cabo, and it was awesome. I loved it. It was beautiful.
Let me ask you this. Were you one of those weird people where you go on the cruise and you could have dinner with another family?
No, because we were with my wife and her whole family, because it was my mother-in-law's 70th birthday that we were celebrating. So we had 12 of us at all times. So we weren't sharing tables with anyone else because we were already such a big group.
Yeah, there's that option where some nights where they say, hey, would you like to have dinner with another family? I'm like, what weirdos say yes to that? I'm sorry. That is the strangest thing. Sit there for dinner with another family? No, I'm good. But I'm glad you had fun, and congratulations. I heard that you got pardoned by Biden for some weird reasons, that you were the only one still supporting. I don't know. I was just mumbling. So stupid. By the way, I tried watching a new show recently. I don't know how I feel about it. And if anybody's watched this show, please let me know if I should continue watching it, because I'm one episode in. Landmine on Paramount. It's the Billy Bob Thornton show. It's about I don't know. We'll see. I'm one episode in. If you watch Landmine, please let us know in our comments on our private Facebook called Off the Record. I just want to know if I should continue watching the show. I don't know how
if it's worth the investment in time, you mean?
Exactly.
You just want to know so you could save someone else's time by not promoting it?
Yeah, yes. I need something to watch. I just finished the John Benet Ramsey documentary, which, it's a documentary. We don't have to get into John Benet Ramsey stuff, conspiracies, but finished watching that. But now I'm trying to find a new show, watching Landmine right now. I'm one episode in. I don't know if I should continue or go further. That's what's going on with me. Dax, you are back. It's good to have you back. Before we get into today's episode, we read reviews. Dax, do you have a read ready for us?
I got one. All right. This one, it looks like it might be a long one. It comes from Bruce Topher 79. What the hell? Why did I save this one? It's a 4-star review. I didn't even notice I was about to read a 4-star review. But I'm already invested. So here we go. Love the podcast. Been listening since discovering Dax through his weekly segment on The Jason Show a few months back. I love that you have included in your WNBA players in the podcast. But if you are going to continue to do so, please get their names correct. Angel Reese is the WNBA player that Adam named Angela twice.
Angela.
I've never heard you getting the names of male athletes and celebrities wrong. Do better. These women deserve it. Oh, Bruce, then you haven't been listening, because I fuck up everyone's name.
Bruce Topher.
I called Chapel Roan Chappelle for I don't know, at least 4 to 5 episodes.
Bruce Topher's mad. First of all, I appreciate the 5. First of all, regardless, I appreciate the 5 stars and leaving a review. Actually, it really does help us, the podcast. With that said, you're mad because I called Angela Reese instead of Angel Reese, her real name. First of all, she doesn't even deserve for me to say her name the right way, because she's not a nice person. I feel very comfortable in saying that. I've dealt with her now, I think twice, maybe 3 times now. She's always been very, very difficult and not cool, not chill, not cool to fans. I will not get her name. I will not say her name. I don't know. I'll keep fucking it up. I don't care. She sucks. Caitlin Clark, I mean, whatever. She's soon to be seen. We'll see. If she gets nice, if she becomes nicer, if she keeps screwing up, I'm going to call her Katie, just for you, Bruce Topher. But Ronda Rousey's always been cool to me. Ronda Rousey, I will say her name. If I knew her middle name, I'd even put out her middle name for you, Bruce. But Bruce Topher, appreciate the review. Thank you for doing that. Dax, Moana. What's this movie called? Moana.
How do
Come
you
on,
mess up Moana, dude?
Moana. How do I Mona? I mean, Moana. I did not see it.
I
I've
like
never
that this
seen
is
it.
on the tail of literally them saying we don't mess up other people's names. Moana. It's
Moana.
literally probably one of the most successful Disney movies in Disney franchise history.
Oh, I've not. I don't watch Disney movies. You
Dude,
have a daughter, so you'd be watching a Disney movie.
oh
Did
my
you see? First of all, did you see the first one, and did you like
hell
it?
yeah. First
And
one
you
was
liked it,
probably one of the best Disney movies ever made. Like the
really?
soundtrack. Oh my god, it's such a good movie. The soundtrack, the theme, like the whole thing is fucking spot on great Disney movie.
Really? That's a big statement. There, say
Dude,
that's the best Disney
it
movie ever made.
I put it above so many other Disney movies. It's so
Better than Toy Story.
hell yeah.
Really?
I loved it.
That is insane, Dex. That's an insane comment right there. It's
No, it's
because
not, dude. The
it's
movie
you know
is
what?
so
It's a
good.
bold. I mean, I'm thinking of all the Disney movies. Bigger than I don't know. Bambi's like a tough movie. That's like a sad
Oh,
movie.
this is
But
way better than Bambi.
well,
You
what would
can't.
you put? Give me the top three Disney movies because you've seen more Disney movies than I have. I'm saying like
Uh,
cartoonish.
well, I'm a huge like I grew up on Aladdin, so I loved Aladdin. So I'm gonna
Okay.
have to put Aladdin as my number one, just because I loved it. The original one, loved it. Watched it a bazillion times growing up. What else would I put up there? I got to think hard about this. There's quite the catalog of Disney movies these days, so I got to think hard.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I don't like I grew up during like the cartoon animation of Disney.
correct.
Once they kind of transitioned into like the, the Pixar type level, I wasn't as big a fan. It just to me, just my eyes didn't really appeal to it as much.
And
With that
just to
said, I
be,
did
we're not counting any Disney properties. Like we're not counting Marvel. We're counting like Disney
correct.
animated movies, right?
Yes, yes.
Ooh, ooh. What else? What else? What
I
else?
honestly, I think the best one to me was like Toy Up, but that's not like you're going to see sequels of
See,
Up.
that wouldn't even be. That wouldn't even. I would put that at like number 8 or something on my list. I
Okay.
feel like Lion King's up there, but I would put Moana. I mean, I probably put it either 2 or 3 for sure.
Wow, bigger than Frozen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Frozen had a good soundtrack and all of that, but I don't know. Moana to me was just better.
Interesting. Okay, I still won't see it, but you know what I don't like about Moana is like The Rock made news this week for doing some charitable thing, like he showed up to like a first responders type thing, and they always do it like when they're promoting a movie. The Rock's put in this movie, and it's like do it when nobody's watching, and then I'll be more kind of like, oh, that's a good deed. But you did it
Yeah,
sort of in the back of your mind. I have to imagine in the back of your mind, like, yeah, you're still promoting a movie. And listen, the
yeah.
movie did really well. The movie did insanely well. In the 5 days of the Thanksgiving week, the movie made $221 million domestically. That's in 5 days. That's for
It's
Hollywood these
insane.
days for theaters. Like that's incredible. Like that's incredible, and that's just domestically. International. I mean, so do you think The Rock gets a piece of whatever that movie makes?
Oh
That's
yeah,
part of
dude.
his deal?
Oh, I'm sure he's got back end deals up the wazoo with that movie. I am sure. And how does that compare? Because I know that. Let's see. So let's see. It broke
Well,
the
do you
previous 5-day record set by Mario Brothers, which was over Easter weekend, and the former Thanksgiving record set by Frozen 2. So, I mean, it's busting through a bunch of records, which is crazy. And for right now, which I feel like it's really hard to get people into the theaters, that's what's more impressive, right? Like,
so
there was a
yeah.
point where you couldn't get people into theaters. No one wants to get up. What have they done recently that now people are willing to go back to the movie theater? Like, what
Well,
is it? Is it marketing? What, I don't understand.
it's got to be marketing. I think it's such a unique way of marketing right now where they're making like scandal within news. Like when it comes to Wicked, a big news story regarding Wicked is, hey, this theater is not allowing people to dance and sing during the movie. This theater is banning people from painting their face green to go see the movie, which gets people talking about this movie. Like, what is going on with this movie, Wicked? So it's very unique what they're doing and how they're making these storylines in the media to promote these movies. Like people are fighting the crowd. Hey, I want to go to this theater because they allow me to sing or dance in the halls or in the while you're watching the movie. While some theaters look down. It's just It's unique, but it's working. It's working.
It's
But
what,
let me ask you this:
and
Are
they
you,
go ahead.
what was I say? Do you have any interest in going to see Wicked?
I think I would watch it. I'm not one of those people like I need you know me. I'm not a big
Yeah,
musical person in the first place. Like I don't like musicals. However, I feel like this one is almost bigger than a musical because it's so famous and the songs are already out there. I think that's what draws me is like when you've heard the songs and they're already kind of popular, then I'll kind of go watch it. But I think if my daughter wants to go see it, I'll take her. I'll go check it out.
if
I'm not
I
like
still,
dying to see it though.
yeah, I don't have. I used to have my AMC A list, which was like $20 a month. You see as many movies as you want for the month, and it was great when I had it. But I got rid of it because there's just not enough movies anymore to go
Hmm.
see. So I didn't think it's worth it. So I wouldn't pay to go see it just because it's not my forte. But if I had MCA list, I would go see it. The movie's long. The movie's like over 2.5 hours long. So I just don't have that sort of patience to see something like that. I do want to sort of see Gladiator 2, but
Mhm.
I just don't know anybody who's like I like to read the Rotten Tomatoes reviews of movies still. And the movie actually got good reviews, but I just don't
Any
know
clue how
anybody
it's
who's seen
doing?
them. It's doing pretty well. I mean, this past weekend, I think it came in third place of this weekend, this past holiday weekend. It made $44 million in 5 days. But it cost $350 million to produce and market. So I think they've made like over $100 million. No, I'm sorry. They made based on what I'm reading, earning totals of $111.2 million domestically and $320 million worldwide to date. So I guess they're making their money back. I mean,
They'll end up
that's
making it back, I think, at this
yeah.
point.
But
People will keep going and seeing it. I mean, this is the first, big weekend, and it'll be in theaters for a while. They'll make their money
yeah,
back.
I want to see that movie just because I think that'd be fun to see in theaters. Wicked's just not my forte, but the way I mean, is this what's going on with Wicked and well, Moana, that's why
Moana.
Moana, Wicked, Moana, and Gladiator 2 right now. Are they kind of doing the same thing that they did in Barbie and Oppenheimer? They came,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
they
They
did.
did that. Like you go, you see the like girl movie and the guy movie on the same weekend, and they compete against each other, or you see them both on the same time. Yeah, they're fully doing the same like replay of it, which is smart. They like it worked once. Why not rinse and repeat? Do it again.
Yeah, so again, I go to Rotten Tomato a lot. I still like Rotten Tomatoes. When if I have free time, I like to kind of like play on their website. And I was looking to see like, okay, what movies can I be excited to see in 2025? And honestly, like there's not a lot. It's a lot of like I'm not a Mission Impossible guy. I'm not a John Wick guy. I'm not a like that's just not my
You don't
that's
like
not my
John
thing.
Wick?
That's not my thing. It's not my thing. I just don't have I don't the only movie I'm excited to really see in 2025 is Naked Gun, the reboot they're doing. It's going to be with Liam Neeson, who I've
What?
never really. Yeah, I know it's
He's
going to
not
be
like a
weird to see
funny
him.
guy.
I'm curious what he could do in playing like a deadpan kind of comedy. And Pamela Anderson's
That
going
is
to be in it.
so random. Why would I don't understand that casting at all because Leslie, who is obviously the original guy who played in all those movies, was so
Yeah,
fucking funny. Liam Neeson to me is action hero. He is Mr. Cool. I How is he playing that part?
I think it's going to be interesting to see what he does and I don't know. I think we all see him as like this very like spooky kind of mysterious type guy, and to see him as a comedic role, I don't know. I'm very curious what he does. But they got the what's his name? Akiva Schaffer is directing it. It's the guy from Lonely Island who worked with Andy Samberg. I think that they said they got some pretty good cameos already. I think Cody Rhodes uh, from WWE, the champion, is going to be in the movie. I mean, I don't know if he's going to play OJ's part because remember OJ Simpson was a Naked
Yeah.
Gun, but I loved the Naked Gun. I thought those movies were just like my kind of humor. I know Glenn
Pretty
Powell's
good, but
remake.
do you feel like sometimes you're going, hey, I don't want to just see remakes all the time, like come up with new shit? That's
Yeah,
why I have
but
a hard time. Like when you just start redoing all of the movies, is there not something better you can do out there?
you're not wrong, Dax. But I think people at the end of the day, it's show business, and I think they don't want to take a risk too much. They know
Yeah.
they already have a built-in audience, and they know they can probably make their money back. Comedies, usually are pretty cheap. I mean, I know Happy Gilmore, the new one that's coming out actually in 25. That's a movie. That's a Netflix movie. It's not gonna be in theaters, I don't think. I mean, I'll be excited to see that, but um, yeah, comedies are usually pretty cheap to make compared to like these Marvel movies that take a lot
Mhm.
of editing and work to do. So,
Yeah.
but you know what's going to be filming? I'm curious. When are they going to start filming? You know, like they're making Britney Spears into a movie, right?
Yeah, they're gonna be making her memoir into a film, which dude, that is gonna be freaking
That's going to be
fascinating. By
good.
the way, she just turned 43. I think it was on Monday. Monday is her birthday, the second. So she turned 43. Also declared legally single on her birthday because I guess she's now finalized that divorce with Sam Asghari, and so she's single. She's 43. Yeah, her life though, like I think she has one of the most fascinating yet tragic yet interesting and successful, like all of those wrapped into one. I think the memoir will be a fascinating read, but I think turning it into a movie, everyone will watch that. I mean, she really is one of the most successful women in Hollywood, but also had this massive, downfall too.
It's interesting what you said, the word tragic, because there was some tragic moments in her career, and it's scary and it's
But it
crazy
wasn't even
because
her career, it was her personal life.
her
And that's
life,
the
yeah,
thing, her personal life became such, um, like this train wreck to watch, and you couldn't look away, and it was so sad. And I remember when I was in high school, biggest Britney Spears fan. Like I had such a huge crush on her. We're basically the same age, and just watching her career, be so big so quickly, and then to just see all of these things crumble around her, just makes me sad. Like even just watching her TikTok, or I mean her Instagram now, I'm just like,
sure.
it's sad to watch.
So Dax, like when you look at her career, she's done a lot in her career. What do you think's the like that one moment of her career that has to be in the movie? Is there one part of her? Because there's been so many chapters of Britney,
Mhm.
from marriages to, uh, I mean, just
Yeah, I think there's going to
relationships.
be. I think you need to obviously start off with, hit me baby one more time, because that's really what introduced her to the world. Then you get into, no, I'm sorry, Mickey Mouse Club is where you got to start. Mickey Mouse Club,
Sure.
but no one really, I don't feel like that was where she became super popular, because that's not how I knew her. But so you start Mickey Mouse Club, then you go baby hit me one more time, then you get into, I would say, maybe her relationship with Timberlake. I think that's obviously huge. You do the VMAs, all of her different performances at the VMAs, and with Kissing Madonna and The Snake and all of that kind of stuff, because that really put her on a different level, right? Like people still dress up as her doing "I'm a Slave for You" with the snake around their neck to this day. Like I think at Halloween time, I probably saw 3 or 4 women dressed up as Britney, probably 3 or 4 men as well dressed up as Britney. But that's just those performances were so iconic and so huge, that you'd have to hit that time frame in her life, and then you get on to Kevin Federline and that marriage, and then you get into her having the kids, and then all of the stuff that was the downfall of Britney after that. So the divorce, the shaving the head, the conservatorship, and you just follow her whole life. All of it is fascinating. All of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, other people must find it fascinating because Universal Pictures has landed the rights to the Britney Spears best-selling memoir, "The Women in Me." The director is going to be Jon M. who's a pretty big director, very big director. So she shared the news of this special project on her social media, and I guess we're waiting to see who is going to play Britney. I mean, there's a lot of in the audiobook, it was read by Michelle Williams, the
Yep.
actress. She's the one
Do you
who read.
do you remember in Just Friends when Anna Faris basically played a Britney Spears type role? How good she was at looking like Britney and acting like Britney. Do you
Yeah,
remember
no,
that?
she was fantastic. But
She
there's other words.
nailed she nailed like the Britney Spears kind of persona.
Other people say that Emma Roberts will be like a really good Britney. So I think a lot of people are, I mean, everyone
I could
knows this
see
movie's
that.
going to be huge. It's going to be massive. So it's again, built-in audience. Britney Spears, the movie is going to be based on her best-selling book. It's going to do well. Who's going to play Britney? I don't know if that's like a scary role to take though either, because it's not an original character. So people are saying,
No,
"Oh, you
but
didn't play
no,
Britney good enough."
that's not. These are the roles that get you Oscar nominations every time. With remember what's his name, Targan or whatever his name is, that did Elton John. You've got,
Yeah.
uh, of
You
course, I
got
can't think of
the
anyone's
guy who did
name.
Freddie Prince.
Freddie,
No, not
no,
Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury. I mean, all of these roles land you Oscar nominations. So if you can do a good job, nail Britney Spears, you will get yourself a nomination for an Oscar for sure.
Do you think, obviously Britney's doing the movie. How do you think Britney did in Hollywood? Do you
What do you
think
mean by
Britney,
that?
do you think she played the Hollywood game well? Or did Hollywood win and beat Britney?
I think at the beginning she did. She rocket launched her career, which not a lot of people can do. And she played into it. She played the sex symbol, and then unfortunately, that was a time in Hollywood history where it was almost like acceptable to really sexualize women to that point where you could ask them who they were having sex with, and talk about how sexy they were and their boobs. You remember when they were like literally asking her about getting a boob job when she was like 18 years old? That's really
Yeah,
creepy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's insane.
you shouldn't be asking she was essentially still a girl at that time, and you're talking about her breasts. And so I think that that time period was not the best time period to be a female star in pop culture. And I
Yeah, I
think
mean, a
it
lot
chewed her up and spit her out, and really is what it comes down to.
a lot of it goes down to timing. When you come up at the time, what's going on in the world today? Is it accepted? Is it not? Is it cool to kind of go against the social protocol? I mean, look at today. I mean, Dax, we and you both sent it to each other. We see Addison Rae allegedly, clearly, I'm saying allegedly, but clearly doing set up paparazzi shots of her wearing heels at a car wash, and her boob is pretty much out, and
There
it,
was nothing spontaneous about these photos. Like, it was a clear
nothing
setup of
spontaneous.
paparazzi photo shoot. There's no way she's going to a car wash where you spray down with the like hose and she's out there. Like, nothing seemed realistic about it. But we always say, like, if that's what you got to do to stay relevant, that's what you got to do. Like, that work your publicity angle. And Britney did that really well at the beginning. I just think that it's also really hard to stay famous and stay up to the standards that everyone wants all the time. And I think it broke her, is what it really comes down to.
See, when I think of Hollywood, I think of the people who played the game well. That's what I was trying to think of. Like, who played Hollywood well? I think it's good to play Hollywood with a little bit of mystery. And I think, like, who played the game, the Hollywood industry, the best? I think it's Angelina Jolie. I think she's done
Why?
so much in her career. First of all, she's had a pretty gnarly career. She grew up, you know, being a little bit reckless. She had a troubled
Hmm.
upbringing, getting in trouble with obviously with doing weird shit with her brother. Remember, they had dating Billy Bob Thornton, which Billy Bob Thornton's super nice guy, but here's a girl who's so beautiful, and Billy Bob Thornton, who he's not my type, but she's walking around kissing her brother on the red carpet, but she got people talking like, what is this girl about? Here's this girl who's beautiful, but she's kind of making it hard to like her, and then she goes and marries Brad Pitt, steals him from Jennifer Aniston. Pretty much, they do a movie together, it becomes a hit, and then all of a
But
sudden they have this nasty divorce.
why is any of this good for her career? Just because
How
she's fascinating?
I think she's fascinating because she never really spoke about all this stuff out in the public. She let us speak about it, and she never speaks about it. She still never speaks about Brad Pitt or anything regarding that relationship. She doesn't do a lot of interviews, but she did just did an interview recently where she said that she did an interview recently where she's saying she's actually getting better work as she ages. And you know
Hmm.
what? Like that doesn't happen a lot in Hollywood, especially for women. There's like a certain crunch time for not even just actresses, women broadcasters, where I'm saying this because it's just how the industry works, where you have that time when your heyday, when you're really pretty, and they're going to try to use whatever they can during that time, and then when you're done, they move on to the next class. And I'm just saying, you could say they do that with men, and they might, but we definitely know they do that with women. I mean, look, think of what they did with like Baywatch girls. Baywatch girls were the biggest names for 7 years when the show was on. Then when the show went off, everyone moved on to the next group of girls. And
Yeah.
Angelina somehow through all these years had people still waiting to see what she does next. She does a lot of charitable work. She's producing a Broadway show that's, probably going to win a Tony Award. She's still working. She's hustling. Like, I think she's done. She's played the game well where yes, has she had tough times? Yes, but she never speaks on it and lets everyone else speak about it, which gives it more mystery to her. And
Well,
there's
then
more alert to her.
I would say Leonardo DiCaprio, same thing. He's like
Yeah.
that male version of he's mysterious. He doesn't go out to be seen. He doesn't do a lot of interviews. He does a lot of, charitable work, but has picked up the biggest roles out there and has had the most amazing career because of it. But there's still that like super, I don't know, like mysterious side of him that everyone always still wants a piece of. And
Yeah.
that's keeps him more relevant.
You know what's funny? You brought up like Leonardo DiCaprio in interviews, which Leo never does. You never see Leo on Jimmy Fallon or Colbert, and it actually works for him. Leo's one of those
Hmm.
guys where if he's doing a movie, you just go see the movie because he's in it because he's Leonardo DiCaprio. He doesn't have to go on these late night shows. But at the end of the day, like I just wonder how much longer are these late night shows going to keep existing? After you see Kai Cenat, who's this streamer, I mean, this guy Kai Cenat is getting the biggest stars in the world like to come to his house and stream with him. And more people are watching these streaming things when he's doing them live than when people are doing these late night shows. And if you're streaming, it costs nothing to make, nothing.
Yeah.
Whereas you watch these late night shows, it's so much money. It's so expensive. And I'm curious at what point do they just wave the white flag and say, guys, it's not working anymore?
Well, I think they also have to adapt. These late night shows have to adapt, and what it is people don't want the big produced sets with the audience anymore. They like Kai's because it's in his house with cameras, and there's obviously someone in a room switching camera to camera as they walk through the house. So it almost feels like Big Brother style. But if you can get a celebrity to show up and they do crazy crap, and then they just have a conversation, that a lot is more interesting to a lot of younger people out there. So as the older audience kind of shifts away from traditional TV, and like I don't watch normal TV anymore. I don't. So I don't see the late night shows. I don't go to Comedy Central. I don't go to NBC. I don't go to CBS. I watch what's on Netflix. I watch what's on Amazon Prime. I did find myself the other day watching the Mr. Beast channel on Amazon Prime because I was like, oh, this is interesting. My kids love Mr. Beast. I love watching what he does. I think that his channel fascinates me because he's giving back. He's doing good for other people. So I like watching other people be happy with the stuff that he does. And I think that that's really where things are going is these huge influencers are way more influential than celebrities anymore.
Yeah, it's I just don't think it's worth it anymore. And I that's part of like what I do, why I do what I do, because I believe in that media of cheap content. And it's at what point are people going to cave and say it's not worth it? I do think that the late night shows figure out different ways to monetize, but the amount and when I say different ways to monetize, they're making money on TikTok and YouTube and trying to get companies to advertise behind that, and they'll advert but it's not making that much more money where it's really worth it, because I have to imagine those shows are always losing money.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Jimmy Fallon making money this year. That show's got to be losing money. So, by the way, did you see that James Van Der Beek? Obviously James Van Der Beek's in the news right now, Dax. With he came out
His
that he has
cancer.
cancer,
Yeah.
and it's very sad. Obviously James Van Der Beek having cancer, very sad. But now he's selling merch from Varsity Blues to help. Which this part's nice. Hold on. I'm trying to read the thing.
Is it to like offset the cost of his treatment?
Well, he's trying to raise money for the cost of cancer for helping families struggling with the cost of cancer treatments. But he's also using it to also pay for his own treatments, I guess, including he says 100% of my net proceeds will go to families recovering from the financial burden of cancer, including my own. But part of me is just like, which trust me, he's selling merchandise to pay for. Very nice thing. But he has insurance, right? Doesn't insurance cover that stuff?
Yeah, but
I know that's very dumb, but yeah.
No, all the stuff gets very, very expensive because you still have co-pays. You still have a lot of that the bills rack up, and insurance doesn't 100% cover everything all the time. And it also depends on what level insurance you have and how great your insurance company is. All of that factors in. And I think what's tough is him being a celeb. People instantly are just going to judge him anyway. Be like, well, you're a celeb. You've made a lot of money over the years. Why do you need our help to pay for what you're doing? And I don't know what kind of financial decisions he's made. I don't know how much money he has in the bank. And so maybe he is struggling. Maybe he does need some help. And so for him, he's like, well, if I can raise some money for other people, but also offset some of my mounting costs with having cancer and having all the treatments that go along with having cancer, like, you know, it is what it is. I don't fault someone just because they're famous for not having all the money in the world.
Yeah, I just didn't know also because he's selling merch from a movie, Varsity Blues. That movie was produced by MTV or Paramount, distributed by Paramount. I didn't know if he has to go to Paramount and say, hey, can I work with you on this deal since you are kind of selling merch from a movie? It's not.
But if it's stuff that you had while you were on set, what they don't have rights to that anymore. I'm sure he took it like the jersey from Varsity Blues, and he's like, hey, I've had this for years. I'm going to auction it off or whatever. He can do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that part was interesting, and I was just curious if he had the money, and yeah, who knows what he's doing financially. But it was very, tough thing. Tough. I guess it's tough when you're an actor saying, and he's done. I looked at his like IMDb, and I was like, he did a lot of projects. So where'd the money go? But he does live in Texas now, which Texas has 0% income tax.
But I think about this all the time.
I think he also has like a lot of kids too. So
I was going to say, imagine, that's not a steady income. That is, you do a movie, you get paid. Let's say he got $1 million for some of these smaller projects. At a point, if you're not doing them all the time, that money will start to leave your bank account.
Sure.
Right? Like if you're not refilling the bank account, it's going to just keep going out and out and out. And that's, I think, the problem that a lot of these celebrities have is they were successful at one point in their life. They made a ton of money at one point. If they did not invest it well, it's just leaving their hemorrhaging bank accounts all the time, and they're not able to refill it. And I think that's what that stress of being the celebrity with no money really sucks in Hollywood.
Yeah, but I didn't know if the union at what point does the union like help you out and say, hey, you pay these dues. If you haven't worked in a while, do they eventually kind of throw you some money and try to help you out with your bills? I mean, I looked it up. He's got 6 kids. 6 kids. That's a lot of money right there.
You got to be making multiple movies a year to feed all those kids.
Yeah,
Shit.
good. Yeah, and that industry is changing. But all right, Dax, I gotta go watch this movie. I gotta go watch episode 2 of this show.
Go watch Moana.
No, I'm
not Moana, bro.
Moana.
You just go find some random kid in the street and be like, "Hey, you want to watch Moana with me?" I promise it'll go really well for you.
Yeah, and then 2 days later, I'll be begging. Then 2 days I'll be asking Biden to pardon me, and then I'm like, no, Dax told me, can you pardon me, please? He said it's a good movie. He says the best Disney movie. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on Red Core Universe, thank you for watching on YouTube. Make sure you guys leave a comment, 5 stars. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Follow our private Facebook group called Off the Record. It's a really fun community. You guys talk to us. We talk to you. Follow me at Adam Glyn. Follow Dax Holt at Dax Holt. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
What's up, guys? If you like that video, there's plenty more where that came from.
Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell so we can just feed you all the goodness daily.
Hurry up. Come on, let's go.